Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My respected lecturer. My name is Muhammad Shaireza bin Jaafar. This is my final presentation. I am going to be presenting on my topic titled Why Malay Literature Should Be Revamped. To begin with, I'm going to start with a proverb in the Malay language. It goes by Di mana bumi dipijak, di situ langit dijunjung. It translates to where you stand, it is where you belong. When we talk about Malay literature, it basically exposes us to our national identity and also exposes us to our cultural heritage as well. So to begin with, what is Malay literature? So Malay literature refers to a rich body of works produced in the Malay language, and it encompasses a wide range of genres such as epics, folk tales, legends, poetries, and many more. So in the next slide, this is the map of Malaysia. So Malaysia consists of 50 states. So can you imagine how each of these states has their own stories to tell and different from one to another? For example, I think most of us are very familiar with the legend of Masuri, which set in Langkawi, and also the legend of Puteri Gunung Ledang and Hang Tuah, which set in Johor and also in Malacca, right? So for the background, Malay literature encompasses works created in the Malay Peninsula up to the 60s and in the Malaysia after that year. So Malay literature is written in Malay. You can also find Malay literature in Mandarin and also in Tamil language as well, as it reflects diverse facets of Malaysian society. So Malay literature has been metamorphosed from oral to written. So you can see that people are not that much educated. So most of the stories formed, they're being sent from mouth to mouth, which is oral. But then after that, people are getting more educated. They start to translate the stories into written paper. Literature still persists today among Malaysian indigenous communities. This includes people like Orang Asli and various ethnic groups in Sabah and Sarawak. So these are the challenges in preserving Malay literature in Malaysian educational institution. One of the primary reasons why Malay literature is waned among school students is because the escalation of the STEM subjects. Students are not really interested in learning Malay literature, especially for students who are currently taking SPM. They don't see the value of the subject because it's too vague and it's too abstract, and they feel like they can learn it on their own, unlike any other science subjects that requires much more attention. For example, like biology and chemistry, right? Another reason is because we are lack of teachers who are equipped with knowledge of literature, which definitely contribute to the subjects not being offered at school. So what are the significance of learning Malay literature? According to Professor Dr. Abdul Halim, the president of Budiman, he stated that Malay literature is said to be one of the treasures of Malay civilization. It is the identity of the Malay nation and serves as a source that introduces the customs, etiquette, and intellectual wealth of the nation. So we can see that when we learn about Malay literature, we do not only learn about the story or the linguistic elements or how the poet deliver or the author delivered a message, but we also got exposed to identity, right? Our etiquette, our customs, and also the intellectual wealth of Malaysia overall, right? So, and this is one of the examples of the Malay literature, which produced by and which written by Is Ahmad Said. The title of this book is called Salina. So this book talks about the condition of Malaysia and Singapore after the World War II and how protagonist of the book, Salina, the female main character, um, becoming a prostitute, this book serves as a window to Isam Said's literary architecture. Because of his efforts, we somehow got an idea how the society was at the time. So these are some of the Malaysia's cultural heritage being listed by UNESCO. When I said it's being listed by UNESCO, recognized by UNESCO, it means that the particular country where the cultural heritage originated from must go out of their way to protect their heritage, right? So for example, in 2008, Mak Yung Theatre got recognized by UNESCO, and then in 2018, we have Nundang Sayang, 2019, we have Silat, 2020, we have Pantun, and also Chinese cultural heritage, which is Ang Chun, Wang Chuan, and Wang Kang ceremony. 2021, we have Songket. 2023, recently, we have Met Mulong. This prestigious designation acknowledges the importance of these traditions for the Malay community and humanity as a whole. So it encourages efforts to safeguard these practices. So there are efforts to preserve Malay cultural heritage, which are finding innovative methods to engage contemporary audiences. So this includes, for example, incorporating elements from Western pop culture into traditional art forms like wayang kulit. Previously, if you watch wayang kulit, most of the performances revolves around the story of religious, right? How to pray properly and how to do this and how to do that in a religious context. But now, Tintoy Chuo, he is the founder of Paparangan Bintang Wayang Kulit. He tried to preserve the idea of wayang kulit by incorporating the element of Western to the wayang kulit itself, right? So this somehow attracts a younger audience because they know the story. Some of the stories included, such as Marvels, DC heroes, Star Wars. Local authors also playing a crucial role in reviving Malay literature by breathing new life into classic elements for modern readers. This might involve incorporating contemporary themes, relatable characters, or even a fusion of writing styles, right? So these efforts bridge the gap between tradition and modernity, ensuring the messages and stories that resonate with older generations continue to find relevance among the younger generations as well. So these are some of the local authors. For example, Heidi Shamsuddin, she published a book called Nusantara. It's a compilation of all the folk tales not only in Malaysia but in the Malay archipelago include Indonesia, Thailand, and all the Asian countries basically. So it's a compilation of folktale stories, legends, and myths in one book. Very interesting. Another local author is James Chai. So he coming out with his own book called Sang Kancil. Basically, it's a retelling of the original Sang Kancil. So we're very familiar with the idea of Sang Kancil, right? How Sang Kancil manipulated the crocodile, how Sang Kancil manipulated the tiger, right? So we can see the intelligence in Sang Kancil. So he decides to retell the story using a modern approach, basically. Right? So this is very important because we can see their efforts in bringing the traditional value of Malay literature to the younger generations to also experience the same theme. But just as local authors are reviving Malay literature, we can see that filmmakers are actively incorporating Malaysian literature and themes into contemporary films. This not only uplifts Malay culture but also captures the attention of young audiences. For example, in 2010 with Majika, in 2022 recently with Mak Kilau, in 2019 with Upin Ipin Kerja Tunggal. This also might be similar to Majika but in a cartoonish version. So it also integrated Malay literature into the films. For example, like I said, Bautu Batu Tangkop, Tanggang, Pak Belalang. This is a very good way. Children got early exposure to our national values, our national stories. So they'll grow up being familiar with our stories, right? And we also have Pada Zaman Dahulu, it's also a retelling of Sang Kancil. By using modern filmmaking techniques, relatable characters, and even interweaving pop culture references, these films act as a bridge between tradition and the fast-paced world young viewers inhabit. So this approach allows them to connect with their cultural heritage in a way that feels fresh and exciting. Malay literature provides a number of moral lessons, like stories feature characters facing moral dilemmas and making choices with consequences, emphasizes the importance of honesty, kindness, humility, and other virtues. Moving on, there's a lot of ways that we can do to revive Malay literature. One of them is introduce Malay literature as a compulsory subject in schools. Just like how we introduce Malay language as a compulsory subject in school, we should also make Malay literature as a compulsory subject in school for students to acknowledge and expose to their cultural and national values, right? So we can also organize literary workshops and competitions, provide resourceful and support for Malay literature. I think one of the best examples would be the Kuala Lumpur International Book Fair. I think that's one of the excellent ways that the government can do at to basically invite the younger generations on the idea of reading, right? We can also collaborate with Malay authors and publishers. We can also create digital platform for Malay literature. We can also promote cultural events and festivals. For example, we can promote KLIBF in the international level to invite writers across the world to collaborate with the local authors as well. So I'm going to conclude this presentation with a proverb. So di mana bumi dipijak di situ langit dijunjung. This is the proverb that I've said earlier in this presentation. So wherever you are, wherever you stand, you need to respect your culture. No matter how far you go, you need to bring your culture with you, introduce your culture to the new people. So by ensuring its continued relevance, we ensure a strong sense of identity for generations to come. I think that's all from me. Thank you.